Welcome, welcome everyone to the next edition of the Stay on Course podcast. Today I have the most amazing guest. I have George Dubec. He is the ultimate networker. He's a best-selling author, creator of the Founders League and Love List Network, and he's an advisory member of America's Real Deal. He has over 50 years of business and social networking experience, and I'm so excited today to have him chat with us about ultimate networking and the ingredients for success. Welcome, George, to the Stay on Course podcast.
Hey, it's great to be here, Julie. I'm excited. I always like to provide good information and good strategies and ideas to people, make their lives better and be more successful.
That's why we're here, George. And guess what? There's a question I ask all of my guests. It might kind of throw you off guard, but because it's ingredients for success, I ask all of my guests, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food is probably between Doritos and Breyer's ice cream.
Oh, so you're a snack guy.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, George, today we're going to talk about networking. I'm just going to ask you, what makes you so passionate about networking before we get into the ingredients?
Well, networking is a way to connect with people. That's the human interaction. And also, it's not only a way to connect with people, but it's a way to help people. That's one of the best tools in your toolbox to help your friends and family by referring them to other people for ideas, resources, for customers, for jobs. Like my favorite phrase, you can get anything you want by using your network.
Oh, it's true. I love that. I love the networking idea. You know, George, it's so interesting. I just want before we get into this, I come from corporate America, and I've been saying this for a while. In corporate America, they're not so focused on networking. And when you leave corporate America and you start your own business, a lot of your old corporate friends, some of them strategically ignore you. And I think it's interesting because the minute they lose a job, they're going to want to contact us or talk to us. But there's a whole bunch of people that leave corporate and now are on their own and would love to kind of get back and do some consulting inside. But I think that if you lose sight that everything happens through people, you are going to be left behind.
Well, Julie, I had 18 years in corporate from 1967 to 1985. I was an executive at General Motors up in Ohio. And you're exactly right. We did no networking. It didn't exist. In fact, the first type of networking that popped into my head when I was younger was, you remember the little black book?
Yes.
Some people would carry a little tiny notebook and they would write names and phone numbers in there. And if you
Right.
lost your little black book, it's like you losing your cell phone today. You would panic.
Yeah.
And especially back in the day when we were all single and dating, every guy had a little black book with girls' names and phone numbers written, and they had little notes like, "She's a good kisser," she's too expensive.
I
So that
love
was the
that.
first networking.
Wow. Well, networking has come a long way. Where do you want to start this conversation today?
There's a couple of issues here. Number one, in order to become good at anything in life, a good salesman, a good negotiator, a good networker, you have to train yourself.
Yeah.
You can't just think that you're good at it because you got a good personality or you are an extrovert or whatever. It doesn't work. In fact, I'll tell you my favorite story, Julie. I wrote my book 5 years ago, Ultimate Networking. And I thought at the time that George Dubec is the ultimate networker. I could go out and talk to anybody. I would light up a room. I was the center of attention. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I rated myself about an 8 or a 9 as a networker. Okay. So I wrote the book and I made a questionnaire on how to rate yourself as a networker. I took my own test. You know what I rated? A 6.
Mm.
So another one of my favorite phrases is most of us think we're better than we are at what we do.
I think that's true across the board. Everyone thinks
Exactly.
they're better than they really are.
Right. And the other thing is, if you want to find out how good you are, ask your friends and associates honestly
Mm.
to assess you and ask them to be honest. Say, how do you think I am as a mother? or a father? Or how do you think I am as a salesperson? How do you think I am as whatever? You can create your own focus group and get an assessment on how you really are.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of ways to figure yourself out. But the other key thing is education is not as important as implementation of the education. So another one of my favorite stories, Julie, is think about this one. Would you rather be in a foxhole in the middle of a war with a graduate from Annapolis who got straight A's or a Navy SEAL who flunked out of high school? Think
Probably the
about
Navy
that.
SEAL. I'll hang out with the Navy SEAL.
Yeah, because why? Because he's trained to do a specific job. It's not his intelligence. It's not how good he looks or how smart he is. This guy can handle the situation. So that's why I tell people, if you have to train yourself. Don't think that you're good at anything until you assess yourself and then do your education, get your training, get your coaches, read your books, but you have to implement what you learn.
Yeah. You have to go out and actually go to the networking meeting. Go
And
to
and
the,
right,
yeah.
you have to learn the strategies, but get my book, learn the strategies, and then go out and implement them. And you know what? Sometimes, Julie, to be honest with you, I am lax at using my own strategies when I go out because sometimes you're not in the mood. That's the other issue we're dealing with.
Yes.
What kind of a mood are you in that night? Okay. You have to be really sharp. It's almost like going to work out. Like you notice, like if you go to the gym, sometimes you just don't feel like it. You kind of go through the motions. Well, it's the
Mhm.
same thing. So you almost have to psych yourself up before you go to a good networking event to make sure you're on point. So there's a lot of dynamics involved. You have to prepare yourself. You have to get ready. You have to focus on what you're doing. You have to target specific people. You have to take notes and get their contact info. Now I'm going to show you a trick that I use, Julie, that nobody else does. Nobody.
Okay.
When I go to a networking event, I don't know if your people can see this box.
Yes.
I take this with me everywhere I go.
Oh, really?
It's a clear plastic box. And what do you think everybody says when I walk in the room?
I don't have a business card.
They
Oh,
go,
what is
"What's
your
in there?
box? What's in your
What is
box?
that? What are you doing with that?" And basically I tell them that's my office because I
Oh,
have my books in there. I have lights for taking photos. And the main thing, when I meet people, Julie, I don't use the QR codes, the dot cards, the virtual cards. When I find somebody of value, I pull out my clipboard out of my box and I write their name, email address, website, and phone number on my clipboard. And when I get home, this is my worksheet right here.
yeah, I like that.
These are the strategic people. I mean, I might collect 10 business cards, but I'm not
Yeah,
going to contact those people. Only the
exactly.
people that I write on this clipboard are important.
You know what? I like that idea. I think we need to bring it back to old school because look at what I have in my hand. Look
Right.
at this.
Yep. I know.
These are all from networking meetings that I have
I
I
got
have
the
all my
same thing.
cards. You have
I
it
got
too.
the same stack.
I
But
actually have a whole box full of business cards, George, and I can't imagine how if those people are leads or if they're not leads. I do email everybody that I meet, but
right.
like, you know, how many people you're going to actually develop a relationship with from all these business cards? Probably not that many.
Well, okay, here's a perfect case in point. I went to an event about a week and a half ago, and I got 5 contacts on my clipboard. Okay, out of the 5 contacts, like you, I always text people. Here's the other key thing I do. When I meet somebody that I put on a clipboard, I take my phone and I do a selfie with me and them.
Yes.
And when I get home that night, I text them and I send them the selfie and I say, "Great to meet you." And I give them whatever other information I want at that point, right?
Yes.
When I get home that night, I do it right then.
That's so
Okay,
smart.
then I do the follow up, which is either an email, phone call, whatever. Now, out of 5 people I met about a week and a half ago, I set up 2 Zoom calls. Okay. The other people, it didn't work out for whatever reason. We didn't really follow, connect. And then out of the 2 Zoom calls, I had 1 private meeting. So 1 out of 5 people, but even that person, we found out that it's really not going to go any further. I mean, I gave them some ideas. I referred them to a few people. Most of what I did with those 5 connections is help them by referring them to other people that might help them. That's what it wound up being. So out of maybe 20 business cards I got 5 on my clipboard. Out of the 5, I made 2 further contacts, and out of the 5 and the 20 business cards, actually nothing happened really.
George, did you have fun along the way though?
Well, that's the other thing. Sometimes you can go to a networking event and just say, you know what? I'm just going to go and have fun. I'm going to eat the shrimp, drink the free drinks or whatever, and just talk to my friends. That's okay. But if you already pre-planned that that's what you're going to do, then you're golden. But if you're going there to do business, you got to plan ahead. You got to be focused. You got to try your
Yes.
best to find the right people. Now, here's another trick, Julie. Before you go to an event, and again, almost nobody I know does this, but if you know the host of the event or the promoter, or when you get there, find out who it is, introduce yourself, and ask them if they can introduce you to somebody at the event that fits your target market. So a third party introduction is always the best.
I love that. Somebody said once, I think it was one of my coaches, you ask the host who's the most interesting person in the room.
Or, okay, that's
Something like
similar,
that.
but whatever. But if you can get the host or the promoter to introduce you to somebody, that's much more powerful than you just walking up to people exchanging business cards.
Well, and that's how I met you, George. I met
Okay,
you
yeah,
because I asked Aaron, who do I need to meet? And he brought me over to you.
okay, there you go. So you're already kind of doing that.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I think it's a good piece of advice. I think there's just like, we need to be ready and we need to be prepared in a sense, like mindset ready, but then also having a strategy around what you do once you get there. I don't think people really think about that. I don't think, I just started taking pictures with people. I did it at one event because I'm like, how am I going to remember who these people are, first of all,
right.
what they look like, or which conversation was what? So there was one event where someone's like, let's take a picture together. I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. I did that. But I don't always do it. So now that you said that, I'm always going to do this. I'm always going to do it from now
In
on
fact,
in.
and a lot of people think of a networking event as to just get out of the office. Like, I'm going to go networking. I'm going to go hang out. I'm going to talk to my friends. Oh, and that's the other thing is when you go to an event, if you have people there that you know, try to figure out who would be a good connection in the room for the person that you know and introduce people.
Oh,
Spend a
yes.
lot of time introducing people to other people. Or, like, say, when I meet somebody and I'm talking to them and they tell me what they do, and it's not right for me, I don't have an interest in them, but there might be somebody there that I can say, hey, come here. I want you to meet my friend Julie over here. She has a podcast and you'd be great on her podcast.
Hmm.
So you can introduce people to each other. And then another key ingredient is when you meet people, try to find something good about them to edify them to others that you're going to introduce them to, or make sure that you compliment them about something,
Yeah.
about the way they're dressed, or maybe something about their business, or you like, what they're doing. Always try to pay at least one good, honest compliment.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
So see, again, all these things, they don't come, like you said, it doesn't automatically happen unless you
think
train
about it.
yourself and program yourself. Every time I meet somebody, I take a photo every time. And if you don't train yourself to do that, like you said, once in a while, you might do it. You might casually do it, but you have to do it every time.
I love
Every time.
this. This is a
Yep.
fantastic episode. I hope everyone's listening here because this is for you if you're a business owner, if you're a corporate executive, if you're a college student. Like these are the foundational ingredients for success for networking. I think it's fantastic. I don't think I've never heard this before, George.
Well, in fact, you brought up college students, and we talked about a database. I have two grandkids that just graduated from college. And the whole time they were in college, I kept talking to them about starting a database of all the people they met in college, all the kids that were of value to them, all their teachers, get their contact information. Because like you said, when you leave the corporate world or you leave college, you're going to think back a year or two from now, oh man, I wish I could get a hold of that person or that friend that I met or that teacher. And
Right.
if you build your database from day one, from when you're going to college and just continue, it's so powerful to have those connections.
It is powerful. And some of those teachers are recommendations for you for your
Right,
first job. I got my first job through my professor in college. That is gold
right.
because he knew me from class. He saw the work that I did. He vouched for me and he helped me get my very first job. So we need to be mindful of that, college students. I hope you're listening out there. And the other thing, George, this is my little trick for college students because I just love college. College to me was one of the best times of my life. I love talking about it. I love talking to college students, especially those who are preparing to go to school. And I say, every class, you need to make 2 to 4 friends. You need 2 phone numbers of people in your class because if you're sick, you need to be able to call somebody. Or if there's a test coming up, you need to study with other people. And in some cases, in my college career, knowing more people in the class, if that test is circulating out there in the universe, which ended up happening for some hard classes, I think the teachers put it out there somehow. The teachers circulated tests out there so we could find them. Um, just knowing the content in advance and learning the content. I'm not saying cheating on the exam, right? But I'm saying like use your resources that are out there. And the more people you know, the better chance you're going to have for success across the board.
Right. It's who you know and who knows you too. That's the other thing. You have to bring value to the equation. And another key ingredient is when you meet people, not only to compliment them, but one of my favorite phrases, once they introduce themselves and mention maybe what they do, is I always say, well, what are you looking for here tonight? How can I help you? Are you looking for customers? Are you looking for advice? Are you looking for funding? In my network, maybe I can help you. Maybe I can connect you. So
Yeah.
always act like you're trying to help them, not push yourself or promote your business.
I like that. I think I'm going to start doing that more and more because who wants the salesperson? Like, I don't like when people try to sell me all the time. And I don't like when certain people try to, when what I don't like is what other people that do what I do try to sell me on what they do. That's like one of my pet peeves.
Yeah. That's oh hey, another good point is you got to have an exit strategy. Because did you ever notice sometimes you get in a conversation with somebody and you can't get away from them? They just keep
Yes.
talking and talking.
Oh
So
my God.
you got to prepare in advance to say, hey, oh, listen, I told my friend that I was going to meet him over at the bar here in 5 minutes. So I got to run. You got to be able to get away and not tie up your time talking to somebody that you know is not going to be of any value to you.
George, this is a master class on networking. I want to take this podcast transcript and like make a one sheet. I'm sure your book is everything that we're talking about here, but like this is what we need to know this stuff. And the other thing is that as you grow into your career, as you get up in, especially in corporate America, you find your next job by your network. You
Oh,
don't
big
get a
time. Yeah.
job, right? You don't get a job by sending your resume in. It doesn't work anymore.
Right. Well, in the corporate world and also in the media world, all the people like in television, they're already preparing for their next gig or their next job by their network of other people in the media. And that's how well, politics is another big one. Politics is
Mm,
all about networking.
yeah. Yep.
So those are all powerful areas that are so important. But yeah, like I said, you can get anything you want. You can get jobs, you can get employees, you can get funding, you can get advice, you can get resources. And on top of that, if you get into social networking, Julie, you can get a date and even a mate by using your social network to help you find a relationship.
That's smart.
In
That's
fact,
super
my
smart.
favorite story everybody loves is I met my wife of 46 years, okay, using my social network. This was back in 1979. I had plenty of dates. I had a three-piece white suit, black shirt, gold chains. I had a Smokey and the Bandit Firebird. I was a great disco dancer. I had plenty of dates, but I couldn't find somebody that I felt was suitable. So I made a list. And at the time, I had 10 best male friends that were meeting women all the time. I gave them all my list. And within 3 months, my best friend Paul calls me up. He goes, "You have to meet this girl." He introduced me to my now wife, and we've been married 46 years. So this was before online dating, before the internet. I used my social network to help me find somebody that I couldn't have possibly found on my own.
I love that. I love that because, it's interesting because as you get to know people, you get to know people. And if you're intuitive enough and smart enough, you can see like who could be a match. And I know that I have set up three people in my life, George. I have set up three different people that ended up getting married and or dated. I think the marriage ones were really funny because um like it would be like I would go on a date with somebody and then they weren't for me, but I'm like, I have the perfect person for you.
There you go. That's a great way to do it too. Network within your own dating arena.
It was so weird because and then I had to like kind of coerce them to kind of meet, but they ended up getting married, and I'm like, I think this is hysterical because I knew that this wasn't right for me, but I knew it would be right for them. Even before they met, I'm like, I have her for you. I have the woman for you. And, so it's just an interesting thing how we can already see in advance if we get to know people, right? And I love this. I love making matches. I love making like those kind of matches. But I think I'm gonna reinvigorate myself into this, making business matches too.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, you can even make sure that your close friends and associates, you know what they're looking for. And when you're out networking, again, you're going to run into people that you can introduce your friends and associates to that would help their business. So,
Love
yeah,
it.
you can do business matchmaking. You can do, social matchmaking. But, that keeps you proactive. That keeps you very engaged and interested in meeting people.
Yeah. We could even do posts like this on LinkedIn. I'm going to do a business matchmaking post right as soon as we get off this call.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody's trying to do. They're all trying to make connections with Zoom meetings and networking events, and everybody's looking for connection. But
Yeah.
again, if you don't know how to follow up and follow through, it's not going to work.
So that's our next ingredient. We got it. Okay. So, um, is build the database first or follow through first? Which one's after
No,
this?
no, you got to build a database first. You
Okay.
got to
We're
get
going
the
to
contacts. And
build the
then
database.
and when you build your database, make sure you put them into categories like single people, landscapers, lawyers, maybe accountants. Start building a database of people in different business categories. Like I have people calling me all the time because I'm a resource center. They say, "Hey George, I just had an accident. Do you have a good, personal injury attorney?" I have a whole list of them. Somebody calls me up. I need a good tax accountant. I have them. So anybody out there listening to this podcast, if you need somebody, contact me. And by the way, my website is theultimatenetworker.com. If somebody wants to get on my email list, they just go there, register, and they can also order my books. And that's the best way to get a hold of me is through my website.
I love that. All right. So we've trained ourselves to be a good networker. We've built our database and we segment it. What do we do as far as follow up and follow through as the last ingredient for success?
Okay, this is the big dilemma that we're facing today, Julie. I hate to bring this up, but our whole culture has been degraded to a large extent by just what's happening in society. And maybe the biggest thing that I could bring up is the lack of respect for each other. People don't respect each other's time. They don't respect each other's even calls, texting or calls. For example, here's the thing that I hate the worst is when I call somebody and they text me, "I'm in a meeting, I'll call you later." 90% of people never do that. So
Mm.
what, in your mind's eye, what does that mean? I'll call you later, but they don't.
It means they're not interested.
Well, but it's what about people that know you pretty well?
Well,
They
then
do
they're
that.
too busy. They're too busy for you.
Well, do you think that it's also a lack of respect for you? First of all, why would they even text you that they'll call? Why don't they just not text you? Just let you go to voicemail. But when they actually tell you, I'm going to call you back, and they don't, that means that you're really way down on my totem pole. And I'm going to tell you something, but I'm not going to do it because I just don't feel like it or I'm too
Mm.
busy. So again, that is our culture. When I'm bringing the point up, yeah, see, like you just kind of poo-pooed that. Like, oh, that's not a big deal. It is a big deal. It's a huge deal. Now, here's something else I'll bring up because I've been around a lot longer than most of your listeners and you yourself. Okay, back in the day when we RSVP'd to an event or a party,
Yeah.
if I couldn't go because I had a death in the family or I was sick, I actually felt emotionally upset that I couldn't go to their party. And I would call them up and say, listen, I RSVP'd, but I can't make it. I'm sick. I'm dying. How many people RSVP and they don't contact the host or hostess and say, hey, I can't make it. I'm not going to make it. Nobody.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say 100% of people today RSVP and they don't care if they show up or not.
Interesting. Yeah. That's so
So again, that is a diatribe on our culture.
true.
That is absolutely, to me, unacceptable for people to act that way.
It
And
well
yet they
because
do it.
George, and the thing is like so you're a different generation, and the other thing like I notice like with people that are a little bit older, they always are into the thank you note. Like whenever you had and if anyone bought you a gift, my mother, my father, they would always be like, "Did you write the thank you notes? Where's the thank you notes?" Like, everyone's freaking out about the thank you notes. I'm like, "Really?" I would be like, "Is it that important that they get the thank you note?" And they were like, "Yes, that must have been also some sort of a respect thing as well, right?"
Oh, that was, yeah. In fact, when we were kids, you're like on a birthday party, your mother would buy a bunch of thank you notes and make you, even if you couldn't write that well, they'd make you scribble your name on the thank you note and send it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, see, all those things are so important to show respect for other people that have all gone asunder. It
Yeah.
doesn't. People don't do that anymore. They don't. In fact, they don't thank people for anything, even personally or text people. People hardly ever thank anybody for anything.
Yeah. And because George, part of it is that like here, you see these we did this business card. We did the business card fan a minute ago. See these people here? Um, I probably should call each one of them one by one and thank them for their time. It was great meeting with them. I'd love to get them on the agenda to have a follow-up meeting, but I haven't done that. I haven't done that. And is that disrespectful, George, that I didn't do that? Or is that
Well, not exchanging business cards. That I don't think there's any necessary follow up there, unless I said, like I said, if it's an important person or you think there's something of value to continue the relationship. But yeah, when somebody does something for you, like they refer you business or they introduce you to somebody, yeah, you definitely requires a thank you for that.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing that's lacking today is people are afraid to ask people for help or ask people for referrals.
Yeah.
And think about this, Julie. Actually, I tell business owners, and most business owners almost across the board are lax in providing the best possible service to their customers and then asking for referrals. They already always spend all their time trying to get new customers.
Yeah.
In other words, do the least amount to make your customer not complain and get new customers. Spend all my money advertising to get new customers. So, in other words, if you give people what they paid for and more, you'll probably never run out of referrals.
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing, Julie. Most business owners are afraid to call up their customers because they know their customers are going to probably complain. So they don't want to talk to them.
Right.
Now, if you provide the best possible product and service, you would love to call your customers up and hear them rave about your service, right?
Yeah.
And then ask them for a testimonial or a referral.
Yes. Wow. George, this is amazing. I'm so excited to put this out into the world so people can hear it. What are some final thoughts? How can we wrap this up so that you could let people know,
Well,
like,
the only thing I can say is that, each one of us has to become a better person. If we all strive to be better, it will help everybody else become better. That's about the only thing we can do. Become role models, try to do all these things, be respectful, thank people, don't be afraid to ask, create a database, train yourself to be a good networker, and take it as a serious job. Networking is a serious, important part of your success as a business person.
I love this. Well, thank you, George. Again, where can our audience find out more about you?
Okay, just go to my website, theultimatenetworker.com. Go on my website. You can order my books, sign up, and get on my email list, and then we'll go from there.
Amazing. Thank you, George, for being a guest on the Stay on Course podcast.
Hey, thank you, Julie. It was great.